Hi, and thanks for watching episode 9 of our Trader series. My name is Vincent and I work at Maven. Last time we spoke about option payoff diagrams, and today I would like to discuss the lifetime of an option a bit more in detail. As you can see, there are many other option modules coming, but first we need to explain a bit more in how the option kind of lives throughout its lifetime. Remember how we discussed the actual expiry or payoff diagram of a December 100 call, for example. If the strike price is 100, it only becomes profitable or useful to make use of your right if in actually December, fast forward to December, the stock price will exceed a price of 100. And forget about the initial investment for now. However, what would happen if it's not December yet? We are today at the 1st of July, for example. What would it mean for the option price? It doesn't look like this, it looks different. It would look something like this. And I would like to explain you why that is. So first of all, you can see here, let's say if the stock trades 95 in December, the option is worthless. So the kind of grayish line is the value in December, the fast forward line, which is quite familiar to us as already. But the yellow line represents the value today, if today is the 1st of July, and this is the much more interesting graph, of course, because you want to value an option today. So as you can see, even if the stock trades 95, the option today is still worth something. Or if the stock is 98 or something here in between, 98, then the stock today is still worth something. And you can see why that is. There is still a chance, a probability, that between now and December, the stock will actually flip on the other side to the valuable part. Right? If the stock stays on this side, it's a useless contract. If the stock flips on that side, there's a potential payoff going on. So if you look from a 2 days perspective, and the stock trades 98, for example, then there's still some value, this green part, to the option to pay for today. And that depends on a couple of factors. Small terminology, if we are on this side with the stock price, let's say the stock trades 98, we would say we are trading out of the money, OTM. If we are already on the good side, on the valuable side of the option, we would say we are already in the money. And if we are weirdly enough trading exactly 100, we say we trade at the money. All right, so what factors does the value of the option today depend on? So some of them are quite obvious, right? If the stock price moves up or down, that immediately affects the price of the option. Technically speaking, the strike price matters. It depends if we look at the 100 strike or if you would look at the 105 strike. So the stock price matters. If the stock moves up and down, you see the option price changing wildly around, and the strike price matters. But much more interestingly, time matters, and you can imagine why. If there's a lot of time left until maturity, there's a decent probability that one day the stock will actually flip over that particular 100 point right there. If there's only little time left, so let's say the stock trades 95, and there's only an hour left until maturity, then what is actually the chance that you will flip there in only an hour? So time is a factor, and a very important one is volatility. Implied volatility means how wild do you think the stock is going to move between now and maturity. And some stocks are just notorious for not moving at all, very defensive stocks. And some stocks, typically tech stocks for example, they just move a lot during a particular period. So this sigma represents volatility, and we are going to discuss it later quite a lot, is an important factor. There are two more factors impacting the price of an option, but I'll leave them for what they are. But this is just for completing the list. So interest rates and dividends are also impacting kind of the value of this particular green portion. So to give you an example, first I need to break it down. So let's say the stock trades 105 today. That means that we are already trading in the money. We are already trading on the right side of the 100 there. Now, what we say in option theory is that The value of the option today, which is really this point here, the yellow part, could be broke down in two particular parts. So the first part is the green part. We would call it the intrinsic value. Already, we are trading €5 in the money, right? We're already €5 away from where the nicking point is there. So this particular part, which is exactly €5 as well, is called the intrinsic value. And the remaining part, the blue line there, is time value. And the time value is really the part what depends on the time itself, the interest rates, and volatility itself. And here you can see a graph as an example to see what it would look like if there's 6 months until maturity, the yellow line, or if there's a year until maturity. So both lines are curved, but you can imagine if we trade 95 today, that if there's only 6 months left, then, well, there's a small chance that we will still make it to the other side, but if there's a year left, there's still a decent chance that we will flip there. So that means we have to assign a higher value to the particular option. So the longer the maturity is still waiting, basically, then the more expensive the option should become. Okay, so in summary, at maturity, an option is either worth nothing, 0, or that intrinsic value, S minus X. So you can even see, if we look back, at maturity, this gray line, the option is either worth nothing, or exactly the intrinsic part, no matter where you are. But before maturity, let's say where we are today, an option has time value, and that depends on these factors again. And what is very important in trading, most of these, we call it parameters or inputs, are sort of known or trackable. So the stock price is given at any moment in time. You can easily use it as an input to, let's say, a model of pricing options. Dividends are sometimes quite well known up front. Interest rates are anyway quite low and they don't move that much. The strike price and the time are fixed. So the only actual parameter that is very hard to estimate is the sigma part. So how much are we expecting the stock to be moving between now and maturity to kind of put an actual value on this particular option? And moving forward, we will try to explain how to put a right value on this volatility part. Well, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more episodes.